And often ideas start there.
It's a completely different side to him and a different part of his character that people don't really appreciate or don't really know very well. I mean, you know, he had the Oyster Boy book, which had a lot of his sketches in, and that was, you know, that's as much Tim Burton as any movie.
This is one of the stories out of the book I did, Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy. It's called Stain Boy. Of all the superheroes, the strangest one by far doesn't have a special power or drive a fancy car. Next to Superman and Batman, I guess he must seem tame, but to me he is quite special, and Stain Boy is his name. He can't fly around tall buildings or outrun a speeding train. The only talent he seems to have is to leave a nasty stain. Sometime I know it bothers him that he can't run or swim or fly, and because of his one ability, his dry cleaning bill's sky high. These are stories for people with very short attention spans.
Tim is preparing his projects, or as they are germinating in his mind, they kind of erupt from his mind onto the page as wonderful, sublimely drawn, very simply drawn images that communicate to me and to others what his intent is. And it's really quite amazing and uncanny how he is able to imply worlds with his drawings.
What happened to you?
I'm not finished.
Oh! Put those down. Don't come any closer. Just, please. Those are your hands. Those are your hands. What happened to you? Where are your parents? Your mother? Your father?
He didn't wake up.
You have a very strong relationship as director to actor with Johnny Depp. Can you tell us what attracts you to him as an actor and why you like writing characters on him and with him?
He responds to things, I think, very much from the inside as well, and that's why I think I've enjoyed working with him, is that you know, there's something very exciting working with somebody who you know, wants to just do different things and go out there, especially with somebody who looks the way he is and people perceive him in a certain way. He's really the opposite of that.
Is there any sense in which you're working through him autobiographically?
Well, I mean, with the Scissorhands character, I would say that was more slightly autobiographical character, but I always kept a distance from that. I mean, because first of all, you know, I don't look like anything like Johnny Depp, you know, obviously. So there's a certain distance from that, you know, that's just there. When I first met him for Edward Scissorhands, he's somebody who, I don't know, I just feel like I operate on a similar level in the sense that, you know, he was known at the time as sort of a teen idol, you know, and I didn't know him, but I just had this feeling like, well, he just doesn't feel like that. I bet he doesn't feel that way at all.
They were trying to label me with all these kind of, you know, very limiting handles, such as, you know, a teen heartthrob, or, you know. When I met Tim for Edward Scissorhands, it was immediately apparent to me the second I met him that he was Edward Scissorhands. The funny thing is that, you know, it was me too, you know what I mean? That character, there was something in there that's me, that's Tim, that's you, that's universal, that feeling of being outside, you know. Throughout my career, there were several films that we did together that he had to fight with studios to cast me, because they didn't want me, you know. They wanted Flavor of the Month, or they wanted this guy because he was popular, or because, you know, whatever. And no, I'm convinced that without Tim and his taking these risks on me, I would have been discarded a long time ago by the industry.
You're taking the outsiders, the monsters, the misfits, and putting them right at the center.
Well, I think that's because that's the way a lot of people feel. I mean, like I said, I didn't feel unique in those feelings. you feel isolated and alone, but that's what that feeling is. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. You know, probably most people, actually. It's just, you know, some people suppress it more than others. That's why, you know, the most gratifying thing for me is just somebody that comes up to me on the street and just, you know, that you've made a connection with them and something that you've done, you know, that means more to me than box office or anything. That just singular personal connection, and it just, like I said, that means more to me than almost anything.